Breaking news. Xiao Zhan gives up major role to save Wang Yibo's reputation. Fans call it Brotherhood of the Decade. The selfless act that sent shockwaves through the industry. In an age where celebrity friendships are often seen as performative, one moment has shattered every cynical expectation. Xiao Zhan, beloved actor and international icon, made a move so unexpected, so deeply selfless, that even his harshest critics are left speechless. He walked away from the lead role in one of 2025's most anticipated international productions, just to protect Wang Yibo's name in the middle of a brewing scandal. And within minutes of the news breaking, the hashtag Brotherhood of the Decade shot to #1 globally. The role of a lifetime, and the decision that shook the world. The drama was called Kingdom of Glass, an HBO Asia Netflix co-production set in a dystopian world where a lone prince must decide whether to save his people or sacrifice love. It was expected to redefine Pan-Asian television, an ambitious epic already compared to Game of Thrones in both scope and budget. Xiao Zhan had been confirmed as the lead just 3 months ago. Global posters were printed. Production had already begun in Iceland. Industry insiders whispered that this was Xiao Zhan's gateway to Hollywood. And then, out of nowhere, he stepped down. Without explanation. Without delay. For days, speculation ran wild. But it was only yesterday morning that the truth surfaced, and it rocked the fandoms to their emotional core. The hidden scandal. Wang Yibo accused of contract sniping. 2 weeks earlier, an anonymous industry leak accused Wang Yibo of engaging in underhanded negotiations to steal roles from fellow actors, specifically targeting a longtime colleague he once worked with on a cult classic. Fans immediately suspected Xiao Zhan. Tabloids began whispering that Yibo had once been offered the Kingdom of Glass role, but negotiations stalled due to scheduling conflicts. When Xiao Zhan was confirmed instead, these leaks suggested that Yibo's team had lobbied to undermine the contract quietly. The story caught fire, with the hashtag Yibo Sabotage scandal gaining traction on both Weibo and Twitter X. Though completely unverified, the optics were dangerous. Brand sponsors were panicking. Online trolls began to push narratives that pit the two actors against each other. Enter Xiao Zhan, and a letter that brought the internet to its knees. On July 31st, at exactly 11:59 p.m., Xiao Zhan's studio released a handwritten letter titled simply, "To those who still believe in brotherhood." The contents. Bombshell. Wang Yibo did not sabotage anything. We both auditioned for the same role months ago, and I accepted it after learning he had stepped away for personal reasons. When the rumors began, I knew how they would twist it. I knew how fast the world turns against someone. And so I chose to leave the role. Not because I don't want it, but because my silence would make me a weapon against him. And I will never allow myself to be used against my brother. He signed it. Zhan. Always. Wang Yibo's response. You gave up a throne for me. Just hours later, Wang Yibo posted a black screen to Instagram with a single audio message attached. Begins with silence. And then a deep, shaky breath. You gave up a throne for me. I don't know how to carry that. But I will spend the rest of my life making sure it wasn't wasted. The message ends with a line that has already been turned into tattoos, posters, and t-shirts across China. Zhanji, you didn't just save my name. You reminded me who I am. Fans react. This is more than friendship. This is legacy. Within minutes, social media was in full meltdown mode. This is the most noble thing I've ever seen a celebrity do. Zhan gave up Hollywood for Yibo. I'm crying. They don't need a drama to act brotherhood. They are the drama. Zhan chose loyalty over legacy. And that is his legacy. TikTok fan edits flooded timelines. Emotional montages of the untamed behind-the-scenes hugs, past interviews where they praised each other, overlaid with Xiao Zhan's letter and Yibo's audio response. One video with 45 million views was titled, "The Real Prince Stepped Down So His Brother Wouldn't Fall." Industry reacts, reschedules, statements and studio applause. Kingdom of Glass producers were reportedly stunned by the announcement, but not angry. Instead, HBO Asia released a rare statement. Xiao Zhan's decision reflects the highest standard of personal integrity. We look forward to collaborating with him in the future. The door is not just open, it's engraved with his name. Netflix Asia called it a moment of historic humanity in a ruthless industry. The production will pause for 6 weeks while the lead is recast. Rumors swirl that Xiao Zhan personally suggested a replacement, one of Yibo's rising co-stars from his latest sci-fi film. The repercussions. From rumor to reverence. The original blogger who accused Yibo of sabotage has since deleted their post and issued an apology, claiming they were fed false information from a third-party agency, seeking to create scandal between the two megastars. A media watchdog in China has now opened an investigation into malicious entertainment manipulation, with several fan sites pointing toward competitive PR agencies as the source. And in the midst of it all, Xiao Zhan has gone radio silent. The symbolic scene. The one time they spoke of brotherhood on screen. In an old interview from 2020, Xiao Zhan once told a reporter, "Brotherhood isn't about being loud. It's when someone speaks your name in a room you're not in, and defends it." That clip is now circulating with renewed energy, captioned with words that bring fans to tears. And that's exactly what you just did, Zhan. A midnight reunion. Spotted together, silent but unshakable. On August 1st at 2:17 a.m., Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo were spotted leaving a quiet tea house in Beijing, together. No bodyguards, no entourage, no press invite, just two men in hoodies, heads down, shoulders almost touching. A fan nearby whispered to a passerby. They didn't need to talk. The world already heard enough. What this means for the industry. A call to humanize again. In an age of constant brand wars, false rumors, and calculated PR alliances, Xiao Zhan's move has sparked discussions about real loyalty in entertainment. A popular entertainment columnist wrote, "For years we called them the untamed duo. We thought it was fiction. But today they reminded us it was prophecy." Closing note. Xiao Zhan's silent power, the legacy he's now carving. Some say he gave up too much. That his sacrifice was unnecessary. But those closest to the industry know better. Xiao Zhan hasn't lost a thing. He's just become something rarer than fame. He's become a myth of loyalty. A story fans will tell for generations. A reminder that in a world of ambition, honor still exists. Developing. Coming soon. Will Xiao Zhan return to the screen? Will Yibo address the scandal in public? One thing is certain. The story is far from over. The night the crown was dropped, and the silence that echoed. The moment Xiao Zhan's handwritten letter was released, the entertainment industry didn't just pause. It held its breath. Fans still remember the timestamp, the silence that followed, and the single sentence that broke millions of hearts. "I will never allow myself to be used against my brother." As speculation intensified around the so-called Yibo sabotage scandal, what Xiao Zhan did wasn't just career-defining, it was character-defining. But few know the inside scenes that happened in the 48 hours leading up to the shocking decision. Now, sources from the set, agency staff, and even members of the production crew are coming forward. And what they reveal is a cinematic tale of self-sacrifice, silent tears, and unspoken brotherhood. The dressing room breakdown. He tore up the script. According to a crew member from Kingdom of Glass, Xiao Zhan had just finished filming an emotionally intense confrontation scene on set in Reykjavik when his assistant handed him a phone. It was a text message from an anonymous journalist. "Care to comment on rumors that you stole the role from Wang Yibo?" A source describes what happened next. He just stared at the screen. Didn't say a word. Walked to the vanity mirror, opened the drawer, and pulled out the printed script. Then he tore it in half. Nobody moved. We all knew what that meant. He didn't throw a tantrum. He didn't call the director. Instead, he walked out into the Icelandic snow alone. The call that changed everything. Multiple insiders now confirm that Xiao Zhan placed a private midnight call to Wang Yibo from that same icy parking lot. He stood in silence for nearly 10 seconds before saying, "They're going to ruin you with this." To which Yibo reportedly responded, "Let them. I can take it." But what Yibo didn't know was that Xiao Zhan had already made his decision. "No, you shouldn't have to. Not because of me." The call lasted only 2 minutes. Flashback. The promise made in 2019. Fans have resurfaced an old interview from the promotional tour of The Untamed, in which both stars were asked, "What would you do if one of you got into trouble?" Xiao Zhan laughed at the time and said, "I'd jump in after him. No questions asked." Now, 5 years later, he wasn't laughing. He was jumping. From a role worth millions, global exposure, and a potential Emmy nomination. The scene that almost didn't happen. A goodbye on set. The day after the call, Xiao Zhan requested one final scene be filmed before his departure. It wasn't in the script. It was a quiet monologue. No music. No background actors. Just Xiao Zhan sitting on a marble throne, speaking as the prince. They say kings choose their crowns. But maybe the strongest kings are the ones who choose to walk away from them, to protect something more sacred. He removes the crown, places it on the ground. "Let history forget my name. Just let him be free." The footage was never aired. But insiders claim that the producers wept. Back in Beijing, Yibo's silent panic. While Xiao Zhan was stepping down, Wang Yibo was unaware of just how far the rumors had spread. A leaked voice memo from Yibo's team revealed the panic behind the scenes. "They're twisting everything. They're saying you rigged the audition. We can't stop the wildfire." Yibo had reportedly considered releasing a statement himself, taking full responsibility just to end the drama, even if it meant admitting to something he didn't do. But then came the letter. Envelope. Ink. The sacrifice. "I read it and just sat there," Yibo told a close friend. "I didn't know whether to be angry or honored. He gave up the one thing he wanted most for me." Airport footage. The farewell that left fans in tears. The day Xiao Zhan returned to China, a video surfaced from Reykjavik Airport. He walks through the terminal alone. No entourage, no assistants. Just a backpack, a face mask, and a hardbound journal. But then, out of nowhere, Wang Yibo appears. Baseball cap pulled low. Hoodie up. He doesn't say anything. Just walks beside Xiao Zhan in silence. In one slow-motion moment, Yibo reaches over, adjusts the strap of Zhan's backpack, and continues walking. Fans dubbed it the quietest thank you in history. Backlash turned love. Public opinion flips overnight. As news of the self-sacrifice spread, fans who had once questioned Wang Yibo's ethics turned their fury toward the bloggers and agencies that spread the rumor. Online users flooded forums with demands. Who started this lie that nearly destroyed 2 lives? Zhan walked away from his dream. Someone must be held accountable. They protected each other. We'll protect them now. Major Weibo gossip accounts began issuing formal apologies. One posted, "We doubted the wrong brotherhood. Forgive us." A late-night broadcast. Xiao Zhan's first words. Went live briefly from his studio. Just a shadowy image of him seated at a piano. He played a single melody, the closing song from The Untamed. Then looked up and said, "Some stories matter more than success." He ended the stream without another word. That clip has since been viewed over 89 million times. What's next? Redemption, recovery, and the return of brotherhood. Sources now confirm that a new project, a non-fiction documentary titled When Loyalty Speaks, is being quietly developed to explore the real events behind Xiao Zhan's exit and Yibo's cleared name. While both actors have not confirmed participation, fans are already calling it the true drama of the decade. Written by Life. Directed by Loyalty. Final scene, 2 crowns, 1 throne left empty. In the words of an emotional fan thread, Xiao Zhan dropped the crown to shield Wang Yibo from fire. But what he didn't know is that he became something far greater in that moment. Not a prince, not a king, but a brother. And sometimes, in a world of illusions, that's the most heroic role of all.